Thank you.
Prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Actually, I do not have NOI book, so that's not NOI. Can someone share the screen? Can someone share your screen and show nectar of instruction? We are at fourth verse, and then we are in the middle. Sorry about that. I should have. I'm at a new place. I don't have that book with me. Thank you, Amshulashru.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, okay, we'll read the shloka and the translation, and then we'll go to the place where we stopped. Couple of weeks back. Dadati pratignati guhyamatyati prachyati bhumte bhojayate chaiva shadvidim priti lakshanam. Translation. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad. And the 6 symptoms. No, actually, Prabhu, we are at the 5th shloka. I'm sorry. कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसद्रियेति दीक्षस्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशम् शुश्रूषया भजन् विघ्नम् अनन्यान्या निन्दाति शून्यं हृदमीप्सितः संगलब्धया. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation and is engaged in worship of the deity, worshipping the deity, and one should associate with and faithfully serve that devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Purport. I think we should scroll down, Prabhu. We'll please scroll further. Remember where I stopped. Further. And continue, I'll tell where to stop. Yes. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions. Nor should one accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be Jignashu, very much inquisitive, to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries should strictly pertain to transcendental science.
Pre-orders a long time ago.
The word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge.
Really little.
Amshulashro, can you mute? Thank you. The word Uttama refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of this material world, and Uttama means transcendental. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters. But can you scroll down, please? So I don't see your screen. Once. Scroll down, folks. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as Madhyamadika. The chanting of holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. That means at the stage of Namabhas, one will actually realize that one who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by a neophyte devotee. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. A lot of people do not give much importance to this, but this is a secret actually. In Chaitanya Charitamritam, याहार कोमल श्रद्धा से कनिष्ठ जना क्रमे क्रमे तेन हो भक्त haibe uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first class devotee. This is so inspirational, actually. This one sentence. I'll read this again. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of first class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage. But if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds properly, Prabhupada mentions properly, of Harinama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttama. The Krishna conscious movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods while chanting on beats. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of Japa 100,000 names, he is considered fallen patita. Actually, we discussed this paragraph also, but wanted to read this again. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patitapan, the deliverer of the fallen. When Srila Satyaraj Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord, how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kahe anramuke suni ekabar, Krishna nama sai puja shrestha sabakar. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Atheva yanra mukayeka Krishna nama Setava Vaishnava Karihatanra Sammanaha. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offer respect as much, at least within one's mind. One of our friend, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting the holy names of Krishna. And even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy names of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to the pictures of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has very high estimation of Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respects to him without reservation, for we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy names should should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers have gradually fallen. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers have gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy names of the Lord. While giving instruction to Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into three categories. शास्त्र युक्ति नहीं जना धृत श्रद्धवान madhyama adhikari say Mahabhagavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of Shastras is not very clear, was not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and who is also undeterred in the execution of the prescribed devotional service, should be considered a Madhyama. Such a person is very fortunate. A Madhyama is a Shraddhavan, a staunchly faithful person, and is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is being said, Shraddhavan Janaha Bhakti Adhikara Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shraddha Anusari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is being said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwashe Shraddhuda Nishya Krishna Bhakti Gaure Sarvakarma Krita Hai. By rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs, I repeat, by rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called as Shraddha. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The word Bhagavad Gita are authorized or authoritative instruction for faithful men. And whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as is, without interpretation. This is the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvametam Ritam Manya Yanmam Vasati Keshava. Vadasi Keshava, O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. 10:14. This is a correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita and is called as Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretation and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in their totality, especially the last instruction, Sarvadharman Paritya, Hare Krishna. Sarvadharman Parityajad Mamekam Sharanam Rasha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. When one becomes completely faithful in regards to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevan Mukha Jivado. This is very important, dear devotees. When one constantly with submissiveness, when one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when one fully engages in chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. That means the what is the eternal relationship which we have with the Lord that has been revealed. Unless one faithfully chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Shevon Mukai Jivado Swayam Eva Spuryadaha. We can you scroll little up? We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue, Sevan Mukai Jivado, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasad. We should not chant or accept anything else. Two things one should do, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and honoring Krishna Prasad. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotee. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything. But Krishna's service, always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy names of Krishna, he understands that his only business is in spreading Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttamadhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted. And according to the sixth process, Dadati Pratignati, indeed an advanced Uttamadhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him. Wow. For it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavat without being self-realized. For by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. In this word, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. The devotee should always know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee. Scroll down to. Should not try to imitate a devotee situated on the highest platform. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj has given some practical hints to the effects that Uttamadhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhika. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform. And it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttamadhikari as a spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chaksharanyaminitam mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadhamaya Dadati Swapadanti Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivaswati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gram Vitkripa Tamam Bande Shri Guru Dinatayana Hare Krishna. Yesterday, the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's life is actually Bhagavatam. Today, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada very beautifully mentions to all of us that Shraddha is the first aspect which we need to cultivate. The moment we begin cultivating Shraddha, a question will come into our consciousness. What is that question is, why are we cultivating Shraddha? So if the answer is not clear, or if the answer is we do not have a clarity to that question, then we cannot move forward to cultivate Shraddha further. So the answer is we have to cultivate Shraddha to submit ourselves to the Lord, to submit ourselves to the spiritual master, to submit ourselves to the acharyas. Another question will come, why are we submitting to them? We should have answer to that also. The answer is, we really want to serve them to the core of our heart. Now another question will come, why spiritual master and acharya should be there? Why can't I serve the Lord directly? Why the spiritual master and the acharya should be there? Why the Guru Parampara has to be there? Why can't I serve directly? Actually, Narada Muni, when he saw Brahmaji instructed him about the science of Krishna consciousness. And later on, Narada Muni, he saw his father, Brahmaji, and then he saw his father started praying, started meditating. He is seeing that his father is also practicing. Then immediately he asked him a question, my dear father, to whom you are worshipping, can you please tell me? Looks like you're also worshipping. Looks like you're also meditating. Can you please tell me to whom you are worshipping? I thought you are the master. Can you please give me clarity? Looks like someone else is also master. Can you please give me that clarity? Then Brahmaji says, very honestly, Brahmaji explains in Bhagavatam that, my dear son, your question is very valid. Yes, I am also worshipping. I have a master also. I am not the master. I have another master. Then he begins telling about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's how the conversation between Narada Muni and Brahmaji got established. That continues. That chapter continues like that. And then Narada Muni is asking question about the glories of the Supreme Lord, and then Brahmaji is telling, "Oh, Supreme Lord is this." So you see here, devotees, there are three aspects of glorifying the Lord. We need to understand that. What are the three aspects of glorifying the Lord? First, the Lord is glorified through his energy. Later on, the Lord is glorified as Paramatma who is sitting in the heart. And eventually, the Lord is glorified as a person who is a source of everyone. Now, he himself expands mercifully and sits in our heart as Paramatma. It is the Lord's expansion. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achinta Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The pure devotees of the Lord, they keep ointment to their eyes. What kind of ointment is that? The ointment is love towards the Supreme Person. Through that ointment, through that special vision, just like not just Arjuna, so many exalted Vaishnavas, they received special vision from the Lord. That does not mean that just like the way Arjuna has seen the Lord, all the devotees have seen the Lord in that way also. No, no, that form of the Lord is temporary. That is only pertaining to this material plane. In the spiritual world, there is no universal form. Universal form is only on the material state. So, so the devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord, they get the taste. They could see the Lord. They could perceive the Lord. They could always see the presence of the Lord. We eat food, not food. We eat Krishna Prasad. We eat Krishna Prasad. That Krishna Prasad goes into our stomach, get digested. And then the Lord who's sitting in the stomach, he's telling, I am the Jataragni, I am the fire in the stomach. You see, the fire which is there in the stomach, that is what it is digesting the food. It will burn off. It will burn off the prasad which is there, and then through the nutrients which is there. Just see here, dear devotees. Through that burning which is there in the body, it can burn off all the nutritions also. It's very interesting actually. But it is not burning the nutritions. The nutrients are actually going to the body. Whatever has to be burned, it is burning. Just see, very interesting actually. The moment the stomach, the Jatarakni, the Supreme Lord who is there, this is the first level of understanding the Lord, dear devotees. What is that? Through the Lord's energy. So through that energy, what is happening? The fire which is there in the stomach, that is getting digested. Okay. How it is getting digested? It is ensuring that the nutrients are actually nourished to the body, and then after that it is digesting. Very beautiful science. There should be a person behind it. Just by seeing this, we can get the clarity. If everything is just burning, then the nutrients should also burn. That means whatever you eat, it doesn't matter. You eat or not, doesn't matter. It is not helping us because it is just simply burning. It is not that kind of a burning. It is a burning which gives us experience. Through that nutrients, what are we getting? We get experience. The body is nourished. So this is the first way of seeing the presence of the Lord through his energy. But the problem is, most of the schools, they stop here only. They explain the glories of the energy of the Lord, but they don't know who that person is. This is where Srila Prabhupada comes in. Pure devotees, spiritual master, they come in. What do? They tell that no, no, yes, yes, yes. Through the energy only everything is manifesting, but you need to understand there's a person behind it. That is what they are. That is what the acharyas are giving us. What they give, they come into our life and then they show us the way. It's a beautiful connection because through this connection only, dear devotees, one can actually establish. See, now the moment you see an energy of the Lord, we just don't stay over there, but we go further. We will go and then find the root of that energy, which is Krishna. Now there is air, dear devotees. There is air everywhere. We are breathing, we are inhaling, we are exhaling. Without our energy, without our uh, efforts, we are able to breathe in and breathe out. But the person who has some disease, he cannot breathe in. Then he has to keep oxygen mask, and then slowly he has to inhale and then exhale because he's facing some difficulties. So through this aspect, it's a clear indication that the Lord has given us everything. He's given us air, He's given us His body, He's given us family, He's given us intelligence, He's given us mind, He's given us so many things. And then through that giving, what is He telling? Just try to understand me. Just try to know me. Just try to cultivate the consciousness towards me. Yat karosi yad ashnasi yad juhosi dadasi yad tapasyasya kauteya tat kuru samadarpanam. Krishna is telling, just know about me, hear about me, understand about me, work for me, develop consciousness for me, remember me. Because when we do this, what happens is Krishna's energy only. See here, very interesting aspect is it is Krishna's energy only to which we are sustaining. Because it's Krishna's energy only we are breathing. It's Krishna's energy only we have this body. It's Krishna's energy only we are getting digested. It's Krishna's energy only we could able to remember our family members. Because if we sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto, if he removes our intelligence, then what happens? Mataji comes, the wife comes, and then Prabhuji says, Mataji, Hare Krishna, because he doesn't know. He has forgotten. He has forgotten. Because that intelligence is gone. But now we are able to do that. Let's say there's a doctor. He goes to the doctor. He goes to the hospital. He drives, and then all of a sudden his intelligence is gone. And then somebody calls him a doctor, and then he turns this way. To whom you're calling? So up until this point of time, how are we connecting? It's through the intelligence. Now who is giving that? It's the Lord. That means the energy of the Lord. That means the energy of the Lord we are utilizing. We are using the energy, but in another way. Now, same energy, for example, if the energy is used for materialism rather than spirituality, if the energy is used for materialism, then what happens? Same energy. We discussed about this yesterday a little bit, right? Then what happens? We fall into karmic change, karmic reactions. We fall into karmic reactions. So this is a very intricate science. See, we can't see the Lord again. His two-handed, his two-hand form, Shyam Sundar, beautiful form, threefold bending form. We can't see that form right in front of us. But wherever we go, everywhere he is. Through his energy. This is the first step. This is Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Seeing certain things, understanding it, applying it, trying to know from where this is coming, and then putting faith on that. Krishna consciousness is not a blind faith action. Blindly, we are not accepting anything. We have a reason and a logic. Through the reason and logic, we're trying to assess and then we accept it. That's how the energy, the Lord manifests himself first through his energy. This is what I was thinking in the morning. Yes, the Lord's energy is there, but if we technically see, so how do we perceive that this energy belongs to the Lord? That's the question. Yes, the energy is there. Everywhere is energy. There is water. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi reyacha. Ankar ityamane binna prakritam ashtadaha. There are 8 elements. The 24 elements, 8 primary elements, 16 secondary elements. All these elements, Krishna is telling they belong to me. Period. That means when we see water, it is the energy of the Lord. It belongs to Him. That means if the water is not rightly used, what's happening? Then the same energy, which is actually constructive. Dear devotees, everything is constructive here. Lord created this creation for constructive purpose. For us to understand Him, for us to know Him, for us to absorb Him, assess Him, analyze Him, completely accept Him. This is called as constructive. The moment we see the energies of the Lord, when we begin using the energies of the Lord for His purpose, for His happiness, what is happening? This is actually Krishna conscious. Constructive. The constructive mode is actually Krishna conscious. But what happens is, again, the element of the Lord. The mind is not a separate element which is outside the box. No, it is part of the element of the Lord. Ahankara iti manya binna prakritam ashtada. Bhumirapo nalo kham mano buddhi evacha. What is Krishna telling? Mano and buddhi. Mana and buddhi evacha. Through that manasa, through that mind, what is Lord telling? No. This mind also belongs to me. But currently this mind doesn't belong to the Lord. It belongs to the Lord, but it is not working for the Lord. Please understand. This is like an employee who's there at the office, but is not working for the office. Is he a good employee? He's not a good employee because he's not working for the employer. Technically, we should work for the employer. Mana and buddhi is whose? Krishna's. Mana, buddhi. Mind and intelligence belongs to whom? It belongs to the Lord. But the thing is, this mana and buddhi is not used in the service of the Lord. The moment it is not used in the service of the Lord, what is it is doing? It is doing destructive. Please understand this. Constructive, destructive. What is destructive? Destructive is the thing which is done not in alliance with the Lord, but in against to the Lord. Now, the moment we do something against the Lord, what happens is destruction happens. And then the source for the destruction is in Tamoguna. And who is the Lord for Tamoguna? Who is the Lord for the Tamoguna? Anyone would like to tell? Who is the Lord for Tamoguna?
Lord Shiva.
Correct. Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the Lord for Tamoguna. So what is happening? When destruction is happening, who's taking care of? Who's taking care? Lord Shiva. And who's Lord Shiva's representative? His associate, Durga Devi. So she would do what? Would keep us away from him. Because what are we trying to do? Trying to do a destructive effort. This destructive effort also, what is happening is, we don't know that is a destruction, but that is happening in our consciousness. Nobody knows. That is why it is called as Maya. Maya means that which cannot be seen. Maya is what? That which cannot be seen. That is called as Maya. So she comes into picture. Because what are we doing? Through the destruction, what is happening? Through the destruction, our state of consciousness is changed from one level to the other. That means we are degraded to what? Unmoving. If you actually see a child, 5-year-old or 10-year-old, the mind is not that stable. Unless and until he is rightly trained up, it requires training. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. Right from the age of 5, one should practice the process of Krishna consciousness. One should follow the process, the science of Shravana and Kirtana. Even though the child doesn't understand, he should sit and hear. Why? Because it is helpful for him. Why chanting is helpful? Because that is the thing. That is the essence of everything. But to chant Hare Krishna, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, right? Another beautiful aspect. We discussed a little bit on Shraddha and how the Shraddha has to be constructive. How do we come to that plane? Through our absorption. What are we trying to absorb? We are trying to observe in this world in a particular way so that all the elements which we perceive, there should be a root for that. The sadhaka is trying to find the root for all those elements. And when the sadhaka is convinced that this belongs to the Lord, then what happens is his next level, he comes to next level. Now, what is he seeing now? He's seeing externally, he's trying to see the energy, and then through that energy, he's perceiving the absolute truth. And after that, he goes what? He goes internally. Because who is present internally? Again, the same Lord, he expands out of his causeless mercy. And then he sits as Chaitya Guru. Paramatma sits in the heart. That's why when a sadhaka develops deep relationship with the spiritual master who is there externally, then his vision towards internal becomes much more deepened. That means when he develops deep relationship with the spiritual master who is there externally, the initiating and the instructing spiritual master, when he develops a relationship with them, then what happens is internally the Chaitya Guru which is there, sitting in the heart, one will develop relationship with him. Because how is that one is developing relationship with the master, with our master, with our superior, with our acharyas externally? By following their instruction. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, if a sadhaka agrees, just like how Arjuna accepted, Sarvametam itam manye. My dear Lord, whatever. Now I understand. Karishya vajanam jo. Yata teja tata Guru. Krishna is saying, now Arjuna, I told you everything. Now you decide what to do. Said, Sarvametam itam manye. Karishya vajanam jo. My dear master, you are my proprietor. I am your das. I am your servant. Actually, this is how on the day of initiation, a sadhaka is kept in this state. We are das, not master. We are das. Nila Govinda das. It's not master. It's a das. What is this das? This das is a dasanu of the Lord and his pure devotees. So what is this establishment, dear devotees? This establishment is putting us in a plane that this is my natural state. This is my natural position. Through that natural position, acceptance, what Arjuna did, he accepted. Sarvametam, my dear Lord. I'll just do whatever you say. This is called a surrender. Sadhaka should come to this plane. Because why the sadhaka should come to this plane? Because through this plane only, the real picture, the real science of Krishna consciousness begins. That's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. Every purport Srila Prabhupada comes to this conclusion. A sadhaka should come to this plane. Sadhaka should be very sincere. Sadhaka should be honest. Sadhaka should develop faith. Why our master is telling like that? Because this is the essence. Because Arjuna did it, Dhruva Maharaj did it, Prahlad Maharaj did it, all the Pandavas did it, all entire Guru Parampara did it, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did it, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj did it, all the Acharyas they did it. That is what they are telling. We should also do that. Now to the first question which is started our conversation today. Now, why the spiritual master should be there in between the Lord and the disciple? Because the disciple is gone case. We cannot name as disciple ourselves. Completely gone case in this material world. There's so many material desires. There's so many other things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, Na danana janana sundari kavitam va jagadisha kamana. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahito kito. But that consciousness of not having dana, jana, sundari, it's not easy. When the material desires are there, these things will manifest. Dana, jana, sundari. Oh, deadly weapon. Is again same thing. Construction, and then destruction. Through the destruction, what is happening? Problems. Again, the question, why the spiritual master has to be there? Because spiritual master is a light. Om Jnana Timirandasya, they will show us that. They will show us that where you go this way, Baba. If you go this way, you'll get this destination. For example, I'll tell you a very practical example. Let's say you came to South India. Let's say you came to Ongole. You don't know what Ongole is. It's first time you're coming. You have to, you have to come to our center, ISKCON Ongole. And then you don't know that you have to tell ISKCON Ongole. You forgot that also. And you're trying to find this temple, but somehow you're unable to find because you do not have the address. You're trying to find this Ongole is not a big city, but it's a small town. But still, you have to ask different people, and nobody knows where that is. And then finally, one person will come, and then he'll tell you know what, this is the place. You go here. It's the greatest solace. He says that this is the address. You go there. You go there. All your desires will be fulfilled. Then we go there. So the person who has shown that path is a spiritual master. That means the person who is actually showing us to go to the spiritual world. Not only just showing, holding our hand and taking there. That means until we go there, he is holding our hand. Continuously they are holding. In between we say, oh, I have some material desire. Then he'll say, no, don't go there. That is bad. Come this way. They'll tell. Sometimes they tell lovingly, sometimes they tell forcefully. Because they don't want the child to be gone in this life. But if the child is adamant, very adamant, is not listening, then he leaves. He leaves in the sense he will not leave completely. He'll pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, please take care of him. He is not listening. Then what happens? Then the material nature will take care of him. Then he'll get some beatings. Again, he'll understand. Again, he'll come. Because there are prayers in the background. Nobody will see that prayers, but the prayers are there. Just like the kite, there's a kite in the flight. There's a kite in the sky. Very nicely waving from left to right, right to left. Very nicely moving. But nobody will see the thread which is there. If there is no thread, then there is no existence to the kite. The person is holding, but there is a thread. The person who is holding, and then the thread, this is the connection, dear devotees. And this thing will go to the spiritual world. So up until that sadhaka will go to the spiritual world, the spiritual master will give us solution. After that, it doesn't require. Because he has developed that natural propensity to love God, to understand and move forward. Up until that point of time, they will give association because it is important. Otherwise, we are lost actually in this world. The moment I always think about this, the moment we do not have association of pure source, then immediately the mind will tell, oh, this is all sense gratification. Let us enjoy sense gratification. Immediately the mind will tell. This is a nature because that is an energy which is very powerful. It's not that easy. The mind is very powerful energy. It will pull the sadhaka from different planes, different states. So that shraddha, which has to be cultivated, is very, very vital for the life of Srila Prabhupada. We see that. So many difficulties, dear devotees. But still his focus is on one thing. The Srila Prabhupada was being asked, sometimes devotees would tell Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, this person is a spiritualist. And Srila Prabhupada would ask, okay, what's his opinion? What is his opinion about Krishna? So Swamiji doesn't accept Krishna. Then I will not accept him. Immediately, outright. Just see the conviction, Srila Prabhupada's heart and heart. What is he telling? Outright he says, just I reject him. I cannot accept his words. Because he didn't understand what the essence is. That means whatever his understanding is, for example, if you're supposed to go to one direction and then you're supposed to go in the east, but you're somewhere going in the west. Do we go to the destination? We will not go to the destination because we are completely going in opposite direction. East is this, west is this. So Prabhupada immediately said, no, this is not right. So we cannot accept this. And one time few devotees, they started telling, oh, you know what? Swamiji is a great person. Srila Prabhupada is a great person. We are all women hunters. We were drinking wine, this, that, so doing so many nonsense. But Swamiji changed our life. Oh, Swamiji is great. Actually, you know what? Swamiji is Krishna only. Krishna only came like that. And then they started telling Srila Prabhupada is Krishna. And Prabhupada heard that. It's actually good, right? Their glory. So it is actually good, right? Not be, oh, if a person is materialistic, if a person is looking for name, fame, profit, adoration, then it is great for him. Oh, they're worshipping me as Krishna. Oh, it's great. So they're worshipping me. It's great. If it is materialistic, what's happening, dear devotees? They would accept that name and fame. Stupidity. But Srila Prabhupada immediately condemned. He said, just send them. Send them out of the movement. They didn't understand what Krishna consciousness is. This is a quality of a pure devotee. Just divided. The pure devotee doesn't run behind name, fame, profit, adoration. Pure devotee is always pure. Just imagine if a person is not running behind name, fame, these things, and people are telling him you're Krishna, then immediately outright he rejected. There are so many organizations in this world. They call themselves as Krishna, they call themselves as Rama. They say Sai Ram, Sai Krishna. They name themselves as that. It's all stupidity without any purpose or existence. If a person is looking for name, fame, profit, adoration, do you think they'll understand who Krishna is? Never understand. This is what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us through his example. Please understand. Please understand this. This is a science. This is a science of Acharya Sartis. We should never in our life run behind these things. If we begin running behind this thing, we will never understand Krishna. That means we are in the energy only. What is his name, fame, profit, adoration? This is the energy of the Lord. This is not the Lord, dear devotees. Please understand. This is energy of the Lord. And whoever is concentrating on the energy of the Lord, he can never get Krishna. So this is a first level of realizing Brahman. Brahman realization is what? Understanding the energies of the Lord, perceiving the energies of the Lord, and we should know what to accept, what to reject. Anukulena Sankalpa, Pratikulesha Varjana. What we should accept, what we should reject. We should have the clarity, clear picture. And then for again this clarity, we don't have to by heart so many scriptures, dear Lord. We don't have to by heart so many shlokas, or we don't have to do Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. We don't have to do any of those things. We just need to study the heart of our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Because he is the person who will be there for the next 10,000 years. The spiritual masters will come, they go. But the Acharyas, they stay through their Vani. They're the essence, dear devotees. Please try to understand. If we do Acharya Pasana, all this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Srila Prabhupada says, I'll kick with my left leg. How? If you simply follow his words. Because he's so selfless, dear devotees. Only a selfless person becomes a devotee. Only a selfless person, he will actually understand what Krishna consciousness is. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. He threw his life very completely selfless. Everyone is rejecting him. But he's not rejecting Krishna consciousness. This is a beauty. He's actually holding Krishna consciousness. On one side, everyone is rejecting him. But on this side, what is happening? He is holding. This is devotion, dear devotees. Treat nicely, treat your children nicely. Love them, care them, give them everything. Give them love, give yourself. Why they will not take up Krishna consciousness? They will take up Krishna consciousness. Very important. This we need to understand. So our life should be meant for this. If we understand the gravity of the process of Krishna consciousness, we will never cheat anyone. We will never cheat ourselves. Actually, you know what is the greatest cheating happening in our what is the greatest cheating happening in this material world? We cheat ourselves. It is the greatest cheating. Through Prakriti, the Jiva is cheating himself. We're discussing few days of how Jiva is in between. There is Ishvara and then there is Prakriti. How the Jiva is bounded between it. And then how Jiva is like struggling, where to go, which association to take. See, the people who are completely materialistic, they have no problem actually. They're fully in the lap of materialism. They're fully in the lap of Mayadevi. Mayadevi will turn left and right. She will fry, but they do not understand. But the person who comes to the process, this is where the struggle is. This is where the struggle is. The person who is actually practicing. Because for him, there is Ishvara, there is Jiva. He's always seeing which way to go. But when we see Srila Prabhupada, he's always seeing towards the spiritual master and the Lord. So when we see this person, this is what we need to ask them. We need to just follow their footsteps. We don't have to invent new things. This is what my spiritual master trained. All these years, since 20 years, he's training us every day. He teaches the science of Krishna consciousness. Why? Because he has full faith and conviction on the words of Srila Prabhupada. He's devoted, he's surrendered to his spiritual master. He gave his life to the moment. And when we see that kind of personality, we also aspire to become that. We also aspire to serve him, because through that service, at least 1% of his mercy comes. And then through that 1%, that is greatest benediction to go back and back to God. And we don't have to invent new things. We discussed this in the morning. New things we don't have to create new things. Srila Prabhupada gave us everything. We don't have to create something new. We just simply have to follow. Just read this purport. That last 2-3 purports for Srila Prabhupada, last 2-3 paragraphs. Very beautiful. He clearly said who is Kanishta, who is Madhyama, who is Uttama. Kanishta gets that little faith through the association. But when he fans that faith, then he comes to Madhyama. Then when he continues further devotion, he comes to the plane of Uttama. It's a very practical sense. Whoever does it, they will get it. But the thing is, wherever we are stopping ourselves, we need to check our consciousness where we are stopping. The more we hear this truth, what happens is, the more we get that desire to actually practice Vishnu consciousness. Because this science is based on faith. And whoever follows, he gets that faith. Shraddha Shabda Vishwasya Shuddruda Nishya Krishna Bhakti Kore Sarva Karma Kritah. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning there very clearly that a sadhaka will advance when his faith is fanned continuously under right association. Always we should take the association which actually goes in it. Very important. Hope one day we practice pure devotion, aspire for that. Cultivate that goal. Ek bar we should chant Hare Krishna, with that conviction. That my dear Lord, at least this one moment I'll surrender everything to you. Please, my dear Lord, please help. This is the only thing which is there. There's nothing in this world which gives satisfaction to the heart. Because sense gratification is only futile happiness. It's very limited. Doesn't have any substance or existence. But when we see through the life of Srila Prabhupada, it's completely free from, doesn't hanker anything of this world. He's there in this world, but he's not part of this world. He's there, but he's not here. He's serving continuously. The spiritual master again and again, again and again. That's why he says that I'm your eternal well-wisher. Why? Because he's my master. He's our master always. Our spiritual master is the master always. Not that for some time he's our spiritual master and another time he's not. He's our master. Actually, we have a relationship with them in the spiritual world also. It's another deep science, how the spiritual master relationship will be there in the spiritual world. Why? See, if a son has a deep relationship with his father, does he leave his father at any moment? He will never leave his father. Likewise, if we have a relationship with our spiritual master, that means we have relationship with him eternally. Why would we leave that relationship? We only leave the relationship when we become complacent, when our falsuka increases. When the servant becomes master, then we leave the relationship. Oh, why is he master? Why am I a servant? Oh, I'll become master. That is when we will leave. But when one establishes that eternal relationship, then what happens eternally? Prati janma koriyasha charanere, I'm your servant, life after life. Not this life. You are my master at every life. Not this life. That's why they say, na dhanam, na janam, na sundaram. First, these three things has to be given up. Mama janmani ishvara bhavatet bhakti rahetu kitai, that consciousness they will give us. Please understand. We need to do one thing to get another thing. If a sadhaka doesn't endure for dhana jana sundari, then he gets this consciousness. That life after life, I want to serve them. Because how? Because after leaving this, he'll get happiness. When he is holding to something, he'll not get other happiness. Yetamam prapadyante tamsada bhajan. Krishna is telling, if you do this, then you'll get that. If you do not do this, you will not get that. You will not get that. Or we might be happy. We might we might have comfort zones. Comfortably we can stay at our family. Comfortably we can work. Comfortably we can do this, we can do that. That's okay, but that comfort will not give satisfaction to the heart. Please understand. The satisfaction to the heart is only coming the beginning. We should realize this, the energy of the Lord. Please, we should begin realizing this. When we begin realizing that, then we go internally to the Paramatma sitting in the heart. Then through the reciprocation, then we see the presence of the person who's there in the spiritual world. We'll aspire to that person. We'll aspire to the devotees who are there. They're all connected, dear devotees. So it's a very fascinating science, Krishna consciousness is. And Srila Prabhupada, even at the time of his death, he said, Bhagavatam is important. He was reading, right, just 2 hours before Prabhupada left the body, 1 hour, I think half an hour before. He was doing Bhagavatam to him. What is this? It's mind blowing actually. Amazing. That person came just. He was born like 125 years back. Srila Prabhupada. Amazing. And his followers, his disciples, so beautiful. I put up a message to my spiritual master today in the morning that what is the greatest gift Srila Prabhupada given? His followers. Somehow we found you. And you are giving that association to us, and then we are very fortunate to accept that. I was expressing grateful for this association. Because without this association, before this association, dear devotees, I am very fact, to be honest with you. I was never seeing Prabhupada like this. I was never seeing Prabhupada like this in my life. To be honest with you, I was reading his books. I was cultivating knowledge. But I was not trying to see the person behind that knowledge. That means I was in the plane of Brahman. That means I was perceiving the truth without giving importance to the person behind the truth. But when the spiritual master comes into the life, he says, no, no, no. True knowledge will naturally come, Baba. Give importance to the person. If you give importance to the person, truth will reveal in your heart. So, this is a beautiful science. The more we meditate on our acharyas, the more we meditate the glories of the spiritual master, the more we understand the truth, the more we see the energy of the Lord. See, the moment we see the sky, we should remember the Lord because it is blue. Is it not blue? Beautiful, huh? For us, it's all cloudy. Our place has been hit with every day. It's raining. It's like I was telling my wife, it's like Seattle. It's raining every day here. So, but somehow when the clouds are dissipated or removed, when we see the sky, it's blue, it's beautiful. It's Krishna's form. It's Krishna's color. So when we see the energy of the Lord, we remember the Lord behind that person. This is devotion. That means everything is connected to Him. We cannot miss His presence. You see a child, you should remember the Lord. So Lord might have also done similar pastimes with His mother, much more mightier than these children of this world. This is Amsha. Amsha can only do something, right? The children were very small, they do naughty things. Whatever you give, they keep it in the mouth. Right? They don't know, right? They're trying to perceive different things. Whatever you give, they put it in the mouth. Now, if the Amsha is doing this much, Jiva, the Amsha is doing the source of that Amsha. Krishna is telling, Amsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. I am the source of every Amsha which is there in this world. then how much he will do? How much Mother Yashoda is running behind the Lord? She might be running here and there. She might be breathing heavily. And all the gopis who are behind her, they are also running behind the Lord. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hope one day we'll become devotees. At least I'm not a devotee, I'm aspiring. One day, एक दिन आएगा अच्छा भक्त बनेंगे one day. But until that point of time, we should aspire for that, for the devotee, becoming a devotee. Hare Krishna. I'd like to stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Like to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Accept my humble obeisances. This is Ramya.
Amma Hare Krishna. Please tell.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for providing this excellent explanation why we need Guru and how they take us to the spiritual plane. With the example of a devotee searching for ISKCON Temple in Angol. That's really getting to the heart to understand the explanation. It's good. And also, how can we experience the Lord in through the digestion process? That is also, that's a very beautiful science. I never thought in that way. But yeah, this is really, really helpful. Thanks for providing us with beautiful explanations which we can't see. Otherwise, if we read, just simply we don't understand all these things. Thank you so much for your providing the nectar for us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ramya Mataji. Please continue to give your association more and more.
Yeah,
And,
sure, definitely.
yes. Thank you.
Hare
Anyone
Krishna.
else? Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All the wish to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, thank you so very much, Prabhu. As Ramya Mataji was mentioning, I was actually this morning while chanting, I was getting the thought, why am I not getting that taste to chant 16 rounds at a stretch? Why am I, all these thoughts of what is exactly wrong with me, where exactly is the issue? I was getting these thoughts. I wanted to chant, but not getting that taste to, or getting that fear that I wouldn't. Would I be completing? Would I not be? First of all, why am I thinking about the count? I should literally chant the holy name, like I should call out the name. But why am I thinking about the count? All of these coming, and then eventually, why is it not natural for me? All of these thoughts were actually coming, and then slowly, while chanting, it was going through. Again, going back to Krishna, why am I? First of all, why should I chant? I'm just calling, but then I like to chant, but what's the core reason? All of these thoughts were coming, and then at the point I was stuck where Krishna is doing a lot to me. Wherever I'm going, he's all of these years, up until this moment of chanting. Also, he's there with me throughout the life. All of those, past times where he helped or he's with us from childhood through the mother and so forth. So what I was I'm trying to say is, as you said, beautifully said, I definitely need the guru, or follow the instructions of the guru to go. You beautifully explained that guru actually gives the difference, clarity on what is energy, what is Paramatma, and what is Bhagavan. That clear differentiation. Now, through my chanting today, at least I don't know, with my ignorance, at least I felt like I am feeling Paramatma in the heart. But to go to that stage of Bhagwan, and didn't I hear about it in the past? All these days with the Association of Devotees here in the class also. I heard, but why is it not natural? Is my question. And you gave the answer today. It is only through the instructions of the Guru, hearing, and contemplating on it and applying through the service given by the master. That's the humbly. That's the only way. By following it continuously, humbly, then only it will come. It will be natural. That's what I understood in this class, Prabhuji. Please correct me.
Because actually, when devotion comes to the plane of natural devotion, when we go through tests in our life, that test will also come in our life, and then through those thought-provoking situations, when we are sticking to the instructions of the spiritual master, again, through the relationship only, we will stick to the instructions. Sadhaka will stick to the instructions when he gives importance to the spiritual master, and when he comes to this conclusion that if I do this, my master will not be happy with this, so I'll not do this. If I do this, my master will be happy, so I'll do this. This is the same consciousness in the spiritual world also. One gopi is asking, one manjari is asking another manjari, can you do this? Then she would immediately would go and do that. She would not have a second thought for that because they have complete trust on the other person. They might take blessings, just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, after receiving instruction from his spiritual master Nityananda Prabhu. He's like 91 years old. At that age, he receives instruction from Nityananda Prabhu that you write Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now that is his life and soul. He received that instruction. Then what happens? He goes to every devotee and then he begs, please, Nityananda Prabhu gave me this service. I'm not qualified. Can you please give me your prayers, give me your blessings so that I can do this service? That is there. But the service was not removed. But the service what's been given, he accepted. But what after that, what he did, he requested from so many other devotees, please give your blessings. This is the nature of your Vaishnava. So when one manjari is asking other manjari immediately doing it because they have that intimacy, they have that relation. So this is what Srila Prabhupada established in his life. This is what his followers, your followers, they are doing it. We should also follow in their footsteps. Mahajanayana Gata Sabandhu. This is what we'll prosper. If we get this gist, then the mind will be pacified. Because this is what the Atma, the soul is looking. The soul is looking for that eternal relation, Satchit Ananda. The Ananda only comes because the soul is eternal. Doesn't matter if it is there in the material world or in the spiritual world, it is eternal. But it's to get that happiness. But happiness comes in this way, to that loving relation. Because this loving relationship, you see, entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's all pure devotees that completely surrendered. They are so loving relation. Advaita Charya, he wanted to get intimate association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he preaches impersonalism. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately hears that impersonalism philosophy from Advaita Acharya, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes mad, and then he beats him. And then Advaita Acharya is telling, oh, Gauranga, Gauranga. So they have very intimate relations. This is devotion. You should develop that kind of relationship. When the relationship thickens more and more, then whatever he does, we will understand. That level heart-to-heart connection should be established. It's a very deep science there towards Krishna consciousness. It's comes actually. Who says surrender is a difficult process? A lot of people say, oh, surrender. Oh, Krishna ke paas aaya to sab nikal denge Krishna. What is this? He gives you everything. Your father is the richest person in the entire creation. His money is your money. He's saying that just remove that desire. I'll give you everything, whatever you need. You have a home in the spiritual world. You don't have to pay mortgage there. Don't worry about that. Just relax, Be happy. Be calm. Be relaxed. Don't be worried. Krishna will take care of everything. But that attitude has to be established. With this consciousness, we should chant Hare Krishna. With this mode, with this mentality, we should chant Hare Krishna. Which I was also thinking while chanting Hare Krishna today. Where are the rounds going? The rounds are completing. How is it completing? For whose pleasure I'm doing it? Is the Lord hearing the words? Am I hearing the words? It's important. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This way aspire. It's a beautiful science. And meditate on these things more and more. Move forward. Hare Krishna. Don't want to go into that now. It's another subject. Trying to stop myself. Anyone else would like to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, from your class today, I'm just taking this, contemplate this way, like dependency, determination, and dedication. These 3 Ds I will take from your class today. So, dependent on acharyas, follow their instructions, follow gurus, and then we'll get Krishna. He is the medium. Acharyas, gurus who are instructing us are the medium to understand Krishna. And then determination. Determination is very important because a lot of other distractions will come. But if I determine in my sadhana, then Krishna will help, Guru will help. And then dedication. Dedication in chanting, improve my chanting, improve my service, improve getting more test in devotional service. These 3, Prabhuji, I just took from your class today with me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Amma. All the very best. Very nice. If you are sincere, the Lord will help. For sure. Whoever is sincere, Lord will help. No doubt about it. Are a person who is insincere, who doesn't know anything about Krishna, Lord is helping him. Doesn't he? Is he not helping him?
Yes, Prabhu. Sure.
He is helping him doing sense gratification. Is it not help? The jiva is suffering so much. He gives little sense gratification. Is it not a help? That means he's completely forgotten, but still he's helping. No doubt afterwards he will suffer for that. But at least that for that moment he's happy. Hare Krishna. What to speak of a person who's really want to practice Krishna consciousness? God will embrace you. Will help. For sure. There's no doubt about it. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to add? Otherwise, we'll stop here.